In this week's episode of Working with Work, I'm going to talk to you about why it's important to get organised. Hello and welcome to episode 14 of my Working with Work series. And in this week's episode, it's all about why you should take the time to get yourself properly organized. Now, what I mean by this is over the last couple of weeks, I've had my family visiting me, my mother, my niece, and now my brother is staying with me. And I thought I would just give myself a little bit of an experiment to see what it was like just to let things slide, just not to allow myself to be organized. Now, for a few days, this actually worked okay. Nothing was too much because I'm always in the habit of planning ahead anyway. So I was running on the things that I'd already prepared prior to me not letting myself get myself organized. But however, after about 3 or 4 days, things started to get dropped. Things started to get forgotten. I wasn't capturing stuff in my normal way, and not doing a daily processing and review really was throwing me out of sync. Until eventually this week, although I'm very fortunate that over here in Korea we actually have 3 public holidays, that's Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and the 2 days in between most people are away on holiday, so I've actually got quite a quiet week. Things are already slipping and I'm missing commitments that I've made. My calendar is not up to date, so now I can't remember when I should be meeting a particular student or meeting a client. And to be perfectly honest, mentally now I feel very, very uncomfortable. Now, fortunately, today being Wednesday, I've taken the time this morning. I've kicked everyone out of the office. I've kicked everyone out of here. And I spent this morning really getting things back under control. Now, one of the beauties of doing that when you come from an organized place to a disorganized place is it's actually very, very easy to pull yourself back on track. So I spent 2 or 3 hours this morning updating everything, reviewing everything. I've done a full weekly review even though it's Wednesday. And now mentally I feel fantastic. I feel very clear. I know where I am. I know where I'm going to be tomorrow, the day after, next week. And actually for the rest of this month, I know exactly what I need to be doing, when and how I'm going to do it. And that just took 2 hours to get myself back on track. So essentially, I've had 7 days where I let things slide, but then a couple of hours to get things back on track, and that's all it took. Now, this is why taking the time to get yourself properly organized is a real life-changing thing that you can do. There are many things that you can do to change your life, of course, but I strongly believe that if you truly want to achieve your goals, if you truly want to be known as the reliable, hardworking, highly productive person in your office, in your work, in your company, then being properly organized and having the systems in place is going to get you there. But not only that, it's going to be able to keep you on track to achieving your goals, your dreams, your ambitions. That's why getting organized is so important. And of course, I know from my own personal experience, letting things slide from time to time is going to happen. We're going to have vacations and that can throw you out of your routines. We're going to have public holidays like I've got this week. We're going to have visitors staying with us, which means that our normal daily routines are thrown out of kilter. That's okay, but if you have a very good system, it is really quite easy with just a little bit of time to get yourself back on track. And really that's all I wanted to tell you today, because today's turned out to be quite a busy day, but I'm not too bothered about that. This was a really worthwhile experiment, letting things slide, not being organized, and then picking the pieces up and putting them all back together into my system. So, to review what I just said there, 7 days of not practicing my normal productivity routines took 2 hours to get back on track. Now, if you multiply that by, let's say, 4 weeks, then that's going to take you pretty much a whole day to get yourself back on track. If you've never ever got yourself organized before, then I strongly recommend that you have a look at my Supercharge Your Productivity course on Udemy, because that will help you to set up your system. But the thing is, your system is very, very important. But the most important thing, and I realized that in the last 7 days, is discipline. Being disciplined and not letting yourself slide and allow things to drop is what's going to keep you productive forever. And I strongly recommend that you work not only on creating a system that's easy to use and a system that you trust, but you really work on your self-discipline to make sure that everything happens on a daily, weekly, monthly, even a yearly basis. So guys, things are going to slide. They always do. There's so many things that will come up in your life that's going to throw you out. That's perfectly normal. The key is having a system that means that you can pick up wherever you left off and get things organized with just 2 or 3 hours of sitting down in a quiet room with your computer or with a notebook and pen and paper and just get it back on track. I've done it today. I promise you, I feel fantastic now that I've got everything back on track. My Todoist is looking clean. Everything is up to date. There's no overdue tasks. My goals are back on track. I've delayed restarting my exercise program until Monday when my brother goes back home, so that I will have a completely free week to get back into the routine of things. But I'm really confident that's going to happen. I will update you on my progress on that. So there you go, guys. Go out there. Don't worry too much about slipping. If you do slip, make sure that you have the self-discipline to get yourself back on track, and make sure you have a system that you know how it works and that you trust it. Okay, I hope you have an incredibly productive week. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and be incredibly productive.